Hi. So I'm back. I'm sorry I took a small hiatus. I was very busy. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was studying for a test. Well, I just took it and now I'm finally free and I can make another video. But today it is obviously not morning, it is nighttime, and I will be making a tea. So wind down with me if you're also getting ready to go to bed. And let's make a tea together. I don't really show myself making the tea, but I'll be talking while doing it. So first I'm gonna fill up my water boiler. Also, if you guys are boiling your water like in the microwave or something, I recommend getting a kettle. It just makes my life so much easier. So that's a good thing to do, I feel. Actually, it already has water in it, so I don't have to fill it up. Applying that to boil. And I just have to say, I do want to speak on other things. I feel like usually I'm always talking about like something that I am into, like a TV show or a book or something. But today I want to talk about like my infance, my childhood. I don't know. Tell me, okay, I think I might be in the minority here, but tell me if anyone else has had this like thing happen to them. I remember a lot from my childhood. That's the thing, I guess, is the fact that I can remember so much from my childhood. And I think a lot of it is because when I was 2 years old, I think my mom took me to see Chucky or something, and I overheard her. So I don't remember the movie, but I do remember what she said to like my dad that night. That I won't remember anything, so it's fine. Um, and I always like that stayed with me because it's like, what do you mean I won't remember anything? And I remember like being 3 or something or 4, and if anything meaningful happened, I'd be like, I won't forget this. And I feel like because I thought about it a lot at night for like when that happened and then later so that I wouldn't forget, it actually made me not forget it. And because of that, I have a lot of memories from when I was 3, 4 years old. Like a lot, like too much. Like too much that it's bad. Like I should have space in my brain for things now, not from when I was so little. But yeah, I just wanted to speak on that because I don't know if anyone else has that experience where they remember a lot from their childhood. Let me know. Um, but yeah, that's just something weird about me. What teas do you guys like? I think I'm gonna go with a hibiscus tea. I've actually never had hibiscus tea until recently, but I've heard that it's good for you. So hibiscus tea it is. Also, don't mind my shirt. It's Kermit the Frog. I love Kermit. I do a mean Kermit impression. Sorry. I will not. Who says Kermit expression? Okay. I will not be doing my Kermit impression today because I only do that with people that I'm very, very comfortable with, i.e., my parents, my sister, my boyfriend, and that's it. But I don't know. Other people may hear my Kermit impression one day. I can also do Stitch and a couple of Disney characters. Yeah, I can do um his wife, Miss Piggy. Yeah. Okay. Tea is ready. Now we just let it sit. Can you see that smoke? It's like it's boiling. No, but okay, going back to the subject, I'm so ADHD. Yeah, I remember a lot from my childhood, which includes like weird comments that children said when I was little, and also my crushes from when I was very small and how I felt. So like a lot of the things I remember is like what I felt, which is why I think that I could understand children so well, and I can understand like what they're feeling and stuff when like they're throwing tantrums or like when they're crying for no reason or something, because it's like I can still remember all the feelings that I had at that age for different things. Um, but yeah, so like okay, there was this one time. Um, yeah, so I was a little bigger here. I was like 5 or something. And I remember that my mom bought me these pencils that had like instead of being silver at the top, because you know the number 2 pencils, like they were silver at the top and then they have the eraser. So instead of being silver, they were gold colored. And like everyone in the class was like, "Oh, you have gold colored pencils, like that's so cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool." And I was writing with that, and this girl from the class said, oh, you left your pencil at the desk. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And I went to take it. And she said, no, it's mine now because finders keepers. And I was like, that's my pencil. And then she was like, no, it's mine now. And then I got up and I was like, give me back my pencil. And she was like, no, it's mine. And it became like this whole thing with the whole class was looking at us. And then I started crying. And then the teacher was like, Marina, why are you crying? It's just a number two pencil. And then I couldn't get the words out. I started crying more. I couldn't articulate what I was trying to feel because everyone's looking at me. And they're saying it's just a pencil, that it's fine, that every pencil's the same. And I was trying to like get the words out, but I was so nervous with everyone looking at me that I just kept crying more and more, and nothing came out. And then they had a meeting with my parents, and they told them that I was basically a crybaby. And looking back, it's like knowing what I know now, that I am a person who is very anxious, I guess, and also overstimulated sometimes. I'm not going to get into details on my diagnosis, but I feel like adults don't necessarily like understand what might be going on in a child's mind. Like they think it's black and white, that they're upset because someone stole their pencil and that's it. But it's so much more. I wasn't upset by the fact that she stole the pencil. I was upset by the fact that she didn't care about my feelings, for the fact that when I was asking her to do something, she didn't want to, not asking her to give back something, she wouldn't do it. Like she wouldn't give me back my own thing. Or when I started crying, she still didn't give it back. She didn't tell the teacher what happened, nothing. So there were a couple of instances like that that happened at elementary school, that it's like no one asked me those questions, no one waited to hear my side of the story or understand why I was feeling that way. And I just wonder if anyone else had this same experience as a kid where it's like you were always misunderstood, you know? Um, I just wonder. Or if anyone else has kids of their own and they feel like they don't understand why they cry or why they get angry sometimes, I'm like, just ask questions or try to reason with your child, try to like ask them questions and understand why they're feeling that way, you know? It wasn't just that. I remember one time I like literally cried because I was in the back of the line we were like walking from one place to another in the school, and we had to like go through these doors, and I was in the back of the line. I went through the doors, like a janitor, something fell, so I gave it to him. And then when I went to go back into the line, the door closed right in front of me. So no one held the door for me. No one noticed that I had helped that janitor real quick. And when I went back, the door closed. And it was one that only opened with the teacher's passes, so I couldn't get in. And then I started crying because I'm like, I'm locked out of the building. I can't get in. No one held the door for me. No one noticed that I was gone. Like that made me really upset. And then the teacher opened it for me and she's like, why are you crying? And it's like, bro. I'm like, hello. But yeah, I don't really cry at all anymore, barely. And I feel like it's because I cried so much as a kid. But I just wonder, like, did anyone else feel that way? Was anyone else that misunderstood? You know? I wonder. Um, yeah, a lot of little things like that. Actually, this one is crazy. I was 3 years old and I was playing with another 3 year old that happened to be my neighbor. And we went to her house and she had a 1 year old kid. Oh my God, no. The 3 year old didn't have a 1 year old kid. She had a 1 year old sibling. Her parents had a 1 year old kid as well. She had a 1 year old sibling. She was three. Let's call her Annie. And so I was hanging out with Annie, and Annie was always like kind of an aggressive kid, we'll say. Like she kind of stole my toys sometimes. Like she was known within the other kids for being a little bit more aggressive, but like whatever, she's my neighbor, so I was over at her place, and the three of us were playing with her toys at her place. So it was me, Annie, and her 1 year old baby sister. And then I remember talking, and she told me, Marina, my parents said that we can't touch my sister's head because it's soft. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then she grabbed a toy and she hit the 1 year old right on the head, and the baby started crying. And I was shocked. And she was laughing, and I was so shocked. Like, to this day, remembering how I felt, remembering seeing that, it was just really insane. Like, can you imagine, like, hitting a child, a baby that hard on the head? I don't even know if it was one. It was very small. Probably not even one. Anyways, but the parents came in because they heard the crying. And they're like, what happened? And she was like, I don't know, she just started crying. And then I said the truth and I was like, she hit the baby on the head. And then Annie started like screaming and crying because the parents were scolding her. And then I just went out the door, right, walked right on home, and I didn't speak at all. I was just traumatized. And like, my parents say that I barely spoke about Annie every time I would go play with her, but I always talked about everything else because they called me Chatterbox because I was always talking, but I never talked about that. And I'm like, that's probably why I did it, because she was like scary. I don't know. Anyways, does anyone relate to that? I wonder, is that a relatable story? Who knows? I just want to know, like, is my childhood is my childhood weird or like my memories odd? Because I also remember really good memories. I'm just showing like the ones that are like weird about me being misunderstood, but I do have some great memories. I remember in kindergarten, I had this huge crush on a boy. I'll call him mm, Caleb. Anyways, I had this huge crush on this guy, Caleb, and he was in kindergarten too. He was very cute. He was very sweet, and I liked him so much. And I remember once he said that he had a crush on a girl in the class, and I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my god, it's me!" And I was like, "Oh really? Um, who is it?" And he goes, "Oh, it's just a girl that has she's she's in our class." And I'm like, "Okay, who?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, she sits on our table," and I sat at his table, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, like it doesn't matter who. Well, I like who is it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's Kathy." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." Heartbreak. My first heartbreak was at that moment when Caleb didn't like me. Hurting. I told my parents about it and I'm like, Caleb doesn't like me, I don't like him so much. And my mom said, honey, that boy is gay. My parents were not like scared about teaching me about like what homosexuality is because that there are people in our family that are like they're very normal about that, very progressive parents, they didn't care. So she goes like, honey, that boy's gay. I'm like, what? No, he's not. Like, what? In my mind I was like, how can I be gay? Like, how can anyone be gay in kindergarten? Like, that's crazy. But guess what, we follow each other on Instagram and he is gay. He is. So she was right. And also looking back, I can see that. Anyway, yeah, crazy, crazy thing. You can tell when they're kids. That doesn't, that, yeah. The craziest part is he didn't even come out until he was in college. Yeah. So, like, it had nothing to do with the fact that people were telling him that he was gay or that, like, I don't know, or that people were saying that because, like, no one said anything. In fact, he had girlfriends, I guess, until high school. But he came out in college. Yeah. So, my mom was right. My mom has good gaydar, I guess. Hibiscus tea is like pretty good. Pretty good. Speaking of tea, every time I drink tea, after seeing Ted Lasso, I always think of it as hot brown water. And it's like, yeah, I can see that. That's exactly how it tastes like. It's almost midnight. I feel like I'm talking really loud for it being almost midnight. Let me get closer. Let me get closer because I don't want to talk that loud. Um, oh my God. You will not believe what happened after I took the exam this weekend. Okay, so this weekend it was insane. It was like so many weird things started happening right after I took the exam. I got a card in the mail, a letter in the mail that said that my primary care physician would no longer be working at the clinic where I go to and that she was going to change clinics. This sucks because now that the doctor that they assigned me at this clinic, I don't know if she's in network. So if she's in a network, I'm going to have to look it up tomorrow. But if she's in a network, I have to change doctors. So that's like a slight inconvenience. Fine. Then I got a notification from Spirit, of which I have a membership, and they're like, we're now bankrupt. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. The only airline that has direct flights to Puerto Rico every day. which I like because of that reason is now bankrupt and that won't exist anymore. So no more direct flights to Puerto Rico for me. Yeah. So that happened, and then I got another letter in the mail that said that I had a toll, that I ran a toll and that it wasn't paid, which is crazy because I have a toll tag, which means that it goes directly to the app, like I don't have to pay it. And this one was actually from last month, and I did pay this because I forgot that I had a toll tag, and I was like, wait, why did I pay those $4? I was like, it's $4, so it's fine. But now they're charging me a late fee, so now I have to call tomorrow and be like, hey, charged me by accident, which this has happened before. I have had to call because they do send me letters saying that I owe something, and then when I call, they're like, oops, sorry about that, and then they delete it. So that happened. Another thing that happened is I had a slight emergency that I won't get into, but I had to cancel an appointment. Actually, I didn't even cancel. I rebooked. I rebooked an appointment at the hair salon, and they charged me $210. And I was like, oh, is this credit for the rebooking? So, like, this covers for the new date? And they're like, no, you're going to have to pay again on the rebooked date. I'm like, then why are you charging me $210? And they're like, oh, that's because you canceled today. I'm like, I didn't cancel. I rebooked and I had an emergency and I told you hours beforehand. And they're like, yeah, but you didn't tell us within 24 hours, so we can charge you 100% of what you were supposed to pay today. I'm like, bro. So I called the manager and I had a fight and everything. And he said that he would lower it to like half of 210, but I still haven't received anything on my phone. And that 210 is still pending. So I'm peed off because, like, yeah. So that's another thing, which sucks. I don't know. It's just like a lot of things just piling up. Yeah, I don't know. And then to make matters worse, I'm doing long distance with my boyfriend. He was supposed to be here this whole summer. And now, I don't know if that's the case. Something happened. He's like in post bachelor school. I want to get into it, but he might have to take summer school, which means that he won't be here. And that makes me upset. So it's like a lot of things. And I'm hoping, like, usually, this sounds really weird, but usually when I have a lot of bad luck, it's because I'm getting good luck soon. So I'm hoping that good luck is very good because all of these inconveniences are very inconvenient. I'm very articulate, very eloquent, yes. But yeah, I don't know. Not bad luck. Actually, I'm thinking about writing a book. So I'm actually a bit of a writer myself. I do write, but only when the mood strikes, which is like once in a blue moon. But when it does, I write a lot. And I've been thinking about writing a new story, I guess, and like about my life and calling it like the luckiest or like the the luckiest unlucky woman or something like that. Because you will not believe the stories that I have. I mean, I think I'm the only person who has survived a Category 5 hurricane, a level 6 earthquake, a record-breaking blizzard, and a tornado. I think I'm the only person. Oh, and an epidemic. I mean, everyone survived the epidemic, but yeah, everyone was watching this video. So I feel like I can definitely write a book there. And a revolution, because when I was living in Puerto Rico, so I was there, like, I moved there in 2017, 1 month before the hurricane. And I think that's insane, because, like, when I moved there in 2017, 1 month before the hurricane happened. And the house that my family had just bought, we had just, like, started renovating it. And the door was placed with one screw, literally one screw. We didn't have time to put the rest. Other houses in that area, because like it was where like right where the eye of the hurricane went through. Other houses there, like the windows got like open, it got flooded, doors flooded, everything. Our house was like completely intact. That was insane to me. I'm like, how is this possible? That's the house that we just were about to move into is still like perfect. I don't know, a little crazy. That's why I do believe in the big guy because I have seen some stuff. He definitely looks out for us in mysterious ways, but yeah. Yeah, crazy, insane. Anyways, but then after that, okay, so that was your 2017, right? And then that's when everything else happened. So 2017, that happens. Okay. Then in 2018, 2019, some political turmoil was happening in Puerto Rico right after like the hurricane. Because the hurricane itself was obviously bad, but like the way that the system worked and afterwards caused the death of a lot of people. And you guys can read it. It's a good book that explains. It's a very short book that explains like everything that went down. It's called 4645. Great story. But yeah, so there was some political turmoil, and then in 2019, 2 years after the hurricane, there was a revolution. Everyone went to the street, and they all were protesting. It was like insane, and it was the first time in our history that we successfully got the governor to resign and move out. We basically banished him just by protesting, and it was peaceful protests. No one died. No buildings were burnt down or anything. It was just being out there every day, every night, yelling. Got him to resign and move away to Pennsylvania, and it was great for us because then we got a new guy who he wasn't really that great actually. Then the person that they put after him wasn't great. But on the bright side, he wasn't evil like that guy, because the guy that we forced to get banished, I guess, he basically embezzled money from FEMA. Yeah. So like after the hurricane, we were supposed to get people that had trouble because of the hurricane. We're supposed to receive FEMA money, and he embezzled it. So yeah. And apart from that, and like these files from a chat got leaked, and he was saying some very awful things, very classist, sexist, homophobic things on there, saying how the people of Puerto Rico are crying and everything because of what happened to like in the hurricane, and that they have to stop whining. Yeah, like insane. Sometimes I wonder what other countries could do if they just spend all day and all night yelling out in the streets when certain files get released and you see the true colors. Even his biggest fans, like all of them, just immediately change their mind. I think that's the big thing about morals. Being in a country that has so many morals that really stands to like looks out for one another. That's very Christian. Um, I don't mean to say like that all Christians are great and everyone who's not Christian is. That's not what I mean. I just mean that they're Christian in the sense that they have those morals really ingrained in them, like real Christians. And people definitely have morals without having religion. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that in Puerto Rico, a lot of people have morals because they truly believe in God. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, so I think that because of that community and that tight knittedness, that everyone who was a huge fan of that governor just immediately, no, we've had enough. That's not okay, and they went out into the streets and did that, which actually caused some other Latin countries to try to revolt against their governors. I don't know if it worked, but they tried at least. So that was interesting. And then 2 months after that protest, after that revolution, which was already an insane thing, COVID happens. No, wait, COVID didn't happen yet. 2 months after that, the earthquakes happen. Also, a crazy thing, the earthquake happened on the same day. It happened on January 6th, 2020. And it happened on the same day that I was supposed to have a date with my high school crush. And it's a good thing that that didn't work out, because I don't want to say. I don't want to say because then he'll see this video and he'll be like, yo, why'd you say that? So I'm not going to say. But let's just say it was a good thing that that didn't work out. Yeah. Um, okay. Changing subjects. So then the earthquake happened. My apartment became jello because it was like right in the south and that of the island, and I was living like right on the south, like right on the coast. So then apartment became jello. My parents were screaming. We evacuated immediately. Nothing happened to the apartment, but it's a good thing that we left because um, who knows what could have happened in an apartment that close to the ocean, that close to the epicenter, so to the fault line. So my parents immediately moved to this other house that they were planning to live in, which was in a whole different city far away, which is why I went to 3 different high schools in Puerto Rico. Yeah. So then we moved there, and then 2 months after that, the pandemic happens. Insane. insane. I'm telling you, when I turned 14, everything just became insane. Okay, so that happens. And yeah, because I was 14 and when we moved to Puerto Rico, so all of that happens. The pandemic happens. I get admitted into college, and then I decide to do a student exchange in Canada. And when I go to the student exchange in Canada, guess what happens there? A record-breaking, freezing blizzard, snowstorm, or whatever. Again, record-breaking, and it hasn't happened since before. Just when I was there. Sometimes I feel like I bring natural disasters with me. If anyone's a witch, drop a comment down below and tell me about that. But yeah, that happened. And now I live in Texas. Then we got some tornado warnings around here too. So um, yeah, just a lot of things. Just it's insane. I feel like these things only happen to me. I don't know. Or maybe I put too much importance on myself. Who knows? But yeah, that's my life. That's my life. I always like to talk about that because I just think it's weird, and I don't know if anyone else. I don't know. I have to stop saying I don't know. I mean, I really don't know, but like, yeah. I feel like my videos can be a drinking game. Like, take a drink every time I say I don't know or but yeah. Like, I'm again the most inarticulate person ever, but I'm not inarticulate in my mind. I mean, who is? But this, yeah. But yeah, I wish I could write that book if I wasn't such a lazy person. So ADHD, I guess. Not lazy, but if I could write that book, I feel like no one would read it, but at least I would be content with the fact that I wrote it. Or write a script. I am a script writer. Um, you actually know what's crazy? So during the pandemic, I wrote one of my scripts, and I made a pilot and a second episode for a show that I like temporarily named Detective Alice, which was based on my favorite story of all time, Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. And it's like a modern retelling of that, but she solves cases uh, as well. So like she works with the LAPD. She's in college, okay? She graduates and she starts working with the LAPD because she gets access to like Wonderland for the first time, and then she notices that it's basically like um the real world but different, and it's like a psychic ability, and so she uses that to solve cases. The reason that I'm telling you guys my idea is because I didn't do anything with it, because then I looked up, like, just in case that was already a thing, and guess what, it kind of was a thing. Sorry. Like years ago, it was planned to become a show. I don't even know, like on CW or something, and then it got like it was drafted and then they immediately canceled it and never released. So it's like that's insane that I wrote this. I spent months writing this script at 17 years old just to find out in like one article that someone else also had a similar idea. I'm like, ah, should have looked at it before. But even if it was a unique idea, it would have never become anything because now that I'm saying it out loud, it doesn't sound like a great idea. But yeah. Anyways, that's me. I feel like I'm almost done with this tea. Okay, I think I'll go to sleep now because it's over midnight. Jeez. But nothing. I just want to say good night, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed your late night tea or anything that you guys do before bed. And good night. Hope you guys have a great week. And if you guys, for some reason, like this content, then subscribe. Also, to my one subscriber, thank you for subscribing. That's very sweet of you. Okay, bye.